Hi guys and welcome to the channel. So I've had my Midwest smoker for a while now, and a lot of you guys have asked me what I think about it, whether or not I'm going to do a review. Well, today is that day. So I'm going to do a full review of this smoker. I'm going to talk about the technical aspects of it. I'm going to talk about the things that I like about it and the things that I don't like about it. So stay with me for this in-depth guide and you can decide whether or not this smoker is the right one for you. Now, how do I make a smoker review sexy? Lingerie? No, that won't fit. Oh, I know. Okay, so let's talk about the technical parts of it. So this pit is made of 6mm thick steel, and that is pretty heavy gauge. There are pits out there that are 8, even some that are 10, but to me, kind of like the 6mm is kind of like that balance for making it affordable and really good heat retention. So yeah, okay, if you have an 8mm thick pit, you're going to have better heat retention, but overall it's going to cost you a lot more money, whereas this one, because it's 6mm, just makes it a little bit more affordable. So the actual cook chamber is 126 meters long and 60 centimeters in depth, so you have a really good decent amount of cook space in there. So you've got 2 racks in this, and obviously the upper and lower one. They come out completely if you wish, so you can take them totally out to clean. Both come in and out really nice and easily, so no effort to pull them out at all. So in terms of the racks, as you can see there, for cooking space you've got 47 centimeters that way, and in terms of cooking space going across here you've got about 107 centimeters again, so it's a really good decent cooking space on that. Now the smokestack itself is about 12.5 centimeters wide. Again, it's 6mm thick steel, and as you can see it's got a bolt here which you can undo, and then this whole thing folds down. You've also got a really nice heat-proof handle here, and that obviously controls your damper and it moves it really nice and easily. Now one of the unique features of this pit, and I've never seen this on any other pit at all, is the ability to switch it from a reverse flow, as I've got it set up, to a traditional one. So by just removing those 6 bolts and the plate, you can take the stack and you can switch it to whichever end you like. Now I personally have chosen to do this as a reverse flow, and the reason I've done that is because reverse flow is meant to kind of like help you balance out the cook temperature. So in a traditional one you sometimes run the risk of having really high temperature over here by the firebox, pretty cold or neutral in the middle, and it gets really hot again when it comes into the stack and then out the chimney. So what a reverse flow does is, because you've got that plate and you're making the smoke go underneath before it comes back round, you have a more even cook chamber. Now sometimes, and this can be said of some pits, where you've got the deflector plates down the bottom, they can heat up quite dramatically and then you get the radiant heat come off those. But this doesn't seem to be the case on this one. I don't tend to cook this side of the pit anyway, so I tend to cook either the middle or over to the left hand side, and I found that the cook temperature both on the top grate and the bottom grate is actually pretty even, and this pit just loves to run at 250. It literally is one of the nicest, most easiest pits I've ever run. It just it's no effort at all. You literally chuck a splitter on every now and again and it just chucks away, and as you can see the smoke is clean as you like. Now as you can also see, this has got massive wheels in it. They are humongous, and this is kind of why this pit has got the nickname The Beast with my friends, because when they go over they go, that is a beast, alright. And the wheels are part of that wow factor. They look incredible. I really like them, but also they're really practical. So this pit must weigh, I don't know, 400 plus kilos, and with these big tyres, with that front axle, I can move it around on my own easily. It is no problem. I can manoeuvre it, I can move out of the way if we're having friends over and we want to use this space, and those wheels just make it so easy to do. Now, I was a little bit worried that when I first got this, because the wheels are so close to the firebox, that they would really heat up and that would be a problem. But so far it hasn't. So on the actual door you've got this counterweight, and that is just really helpful in terms of lifting this door up, because obviously it's 6mm thick steel and it must weigh, I don't know, 40-50 kilos, so you really need that. Also, I was able to get this personalised plaque on the front of the actual door as well, which obviously for the channel is superb, and I really like it. It's really well made, and you can see the detail they've managed to capture on that. Looks fantastic. So on top of the My Firebox, I've actually got a plancher plate, and that's quite a nice unique touch. Now, I've used it a few times for cooking steak and it cooks okay, but what I don't like about it is that the meat sticks to here, and as you can see it's started to kind of like corrode it a little bit. So what I tend to do is actually put a cast iron skillet on top of here, because this gets raging hot, and then I can cook my steaks and everything on the actual cast iron skillet, and this leaves this in really good nick. But they have thought it through. You know, here you can see there's a drain hole, so any fat that would come off will go into that drain hole. It does unfortunately go straight down to the ground, so if you did have fat going on it, you'd have to put something under it, but actually it's a really nice touch. So one of the things I absolutely love is the size of this firebox. Like everything else on the pit, it's 6mm thick steel, but because it's so big, and they also give you this laser cut fire basket to use, and because it's so big, you can move that fire back and forwards however you need. Now, because this firebox is such a nice size, it allows you enough room that you can put a split either side of the actual fire that you're running. And what that allows you to be able to do is just preheat those splits of wood, so that when you're ready to add it to your fire, they catch really quickly, and you can like minimize the amount of downtime you've got in terms of your temperature dropping and then trying to recover, and you can just maintain a really nice clean smoke. So the other thing this fire box has is this really nice handle as well, so it enables you to kind of like touch it and never gets hot. And also, as you can see on the side there, you've got a number of notches that allows you to decide how much you want to close the firebox down. And also down the bottom you've got this vent that you can either completely close or have open, and again that just allows additional control of your airflow. Okay, so what don't I like about it? I actually like shelves on my pits. They're useful. I can put things on shelves, and as you can see at the moment I've got my thermopen signals on there, and quite often I will put my spray bottle on there as well, so that whatever I'm spraying, briskets, ribs, whatever I'm doing, I can easily spray stuff. And the problem is, as soon as I open this door, it knocks it flying. So the problem is that this shelf is not wide enough. Now if you look this way, you can see that the tyre sticks out way more than what the shelf is, so there is plenty of room to be able to extend the shelf out, and I personally would really value that. So that's one thing I would like to change. So another thing that I would change, I'm not particularly a massive fan of, so even though I appreciate the ingenuity that they've done, these don't work. So I cannot get my probes through it. I have a pretty standard temperature probe, so I have a thermopen signals. I can't fit it through. And secondly, you can see there's like a plastic grommet. Well, I've already lost it. So you get a little bit of smoke leakage out there, nothing to even worry about, but you do get a little bit coming out. You can see a bit coming out now. So I like the idea, but actually what I end up having to do is stick them under the door. So you can see there, I've got my cables coming out from under the door, which is okay, doesn't let any smoke out. And the other thing that I had to change was the temperature gauges. So the ones they came with were basically crap, to be quite honest. They were just cheap, they weren't very good at all. So I swatched them out for this Teltree. Now, word of warning, I had to cut a different thread and also cut down the length of the pipe that these go into. Now I'm pretty sure the Midwest supply them or can supply them themselves, so just have a word of those if you do want one of those. So guys, that's my review. So hopefully I've gone over every single aspect of this pit. There's nothing I've missed. Hopefully there hasn't. Hopefully you agree it's a sexy video. But yeah, I'll do my best. But anyway, putting that aside, I really just want to sum up really. So I personally am really happy with this pit. I love the way it's cooked. I love the innovation on it. I like the way that it runs. It just runs so nicely. It's so easy to maintain. But there is a but. And the but is a bit of a two-way thing really. So the thing you have to remember is that this is a custom pit. So you can have however you want, within obviously reason. But you can have a round firebox, you can have an insulated firebox, you can have a plancher on top, you can have no plancher on top. So you can have trolley wheels, or you can have what I call a full caster frame. So rather than just half a shelf, you can have a full shelf. You know, it is limitless in terms of what you can have. And these guys are talented. You know, they are able to pull off some amazing engineering. I mean, I love the build quality of this. It is really, really well made. But the thing you have to remember is that because it is a custom pit, you're going to have to wait for it. So MidWest is two brothers, and they are, like I say, very talented in what they do. But they have a big wait list, and they have lots of people that want their pits. And basically, if you want one, you're going to have to wait for it. So this one took 7 months to arrive for me. But, you know, ultimately, I suggest you give them a call. I'll leave all the information down below. Chat to them about what you want from your smoker, and just can I say to them realistically how long is it going to take to arrive. And if you're happy with that, go for it. If it's too long, we'll look elsewhere. But I have to say, for the value of this pit, for the quality of the build, and basically just how happy I am to have it, you know, I can't recommend this enough. It just, you will have to wait for it. It's as simple as that. But in terms of the actual pit itself, fantastic, love it. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Obviously I'm going to keep this pit for many years. It's going to feature in lots of videos. But if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to know about it, leave them in the comments down below, and I can always record a little short just to pick up whatever point you want. But there you go. So that's my kind of like review of this Midwest offset smoker. Hopefully you found it helpful. Please subscribe to the old channel. It really does, you know, it means a lot to me, everyone that does subscribe, and also it tells me that the sort of content I'm making, the sort of content you guys want to see. But if you've got any thoughts, any comments, please leave those down below, and I'll come back to you. And like I say, if there's anything that I've missed, I can always record a little short just to, you know, address that particular question. But hopefully you're tuning in to see me do many cooks on this, and until the next video, I'll see you then. Take care.